Finally. Jesus, guys. Been sitting up here. Well, you've seen it maybe on the camera. I might leave some of that in with just me sitting here dumbfounded because nothing's working. But had to restart my computer to get it to link up, I guess. Opened Audacity a couple times. 3 times, actually. 3 times? Just twice. I lied. And I couldn't get every time I hit record, it said no device, no recording device supported or some bullshit like that. So, I don't know. But this is the intro. The intro is what I'm doing right now for this episode. What I did is I went to Mountain Light Sanctuary up in Barnardsville, North Carolina, a little bit above, about 35 miles above, north of Asheville, North Carolina. Went up there and did a little 2-day retreat at their sanctuary, kind of like a Zen retreat, Buddhist retreat, Taoist retreat, or whatever you want to call it. But just a time to unplug and unwind and do some things like that. So my plan was to go up there and just disconnect completely and not even pull out my phone except maybe to look at the time or to check the weather or some bullshit like that. I didn't even think I was going to be able to get any service up there, which it doesn't matter for what I'm getting ready to say, but they did have some Wi-Fi, some limited Wi-Fi there at the lodge, so I was able to get on and do those types of things, check the weather and maybe an email just to make sure I didn't miss something important, or a text message or something from my kids or my parents or whatever. But I stayed off of Facebook and all those, Instagram and all those other things. But anyway, what am I getting to? So since I did have my phone with me, I said, you know what? Why don't I just do a few videos around the area to show you guys? So I think I did something like 11 videos, just a little short stuff, maybe a minute, maybe a minute and a half a piece, just to kind of show a little bit of what my experience was up there. So what my plan is I'll have this little intro here, and then it's going to skip right into the videos that I recorded there from my phone. So just to give you a heads up, the audio is going to be a little on and off. Not on and off, it's never going to be off, but the audio is going to be a little sketchy on some of the videos. Some of them have a little bit more ambient noise in the background going on, so I'm going to try and clean all that up and put it together and make it nice as possible with my limited skill set that I have as an editor. But yeah, so this is the intro for that, and then you'll see a series of videos that I'll link together, and then I'm going to do a little bit more of a show at the end and close it all up and wrap it all up in a nice little bow. So enjoy this episode. All right, guys, I checked in. I just got done with the tour, and I don't know what these little guys are. These guys are right outside my little hut, my little abode, my little cabin, however you want to call it. This is what I get to hear all night. This is my private little creek right here. Here is my humble abode. Enchantment. The only thing I got in here is some solar lights. Here's the solar powered. My door coming in. Here's my accommodations. I'm fasting while I'm here, so there's my breakfast, lunch, and dinner right there. Where I'll sit and write a novel or something. Who knows what I'll be doing in this thing. And yeah, I got some little steps right over here. I'll show you. I can go right out my little gate right here. Come right down these little steps. And bam, I'm in the water. This is it. Hold on, I gotta figure out how to get out of here. How do I get out here? Oh, I got it. It lifts up. I'll get out there later. Home sweet home for a couple days. Brian Dale, Craft Conversations. I think what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to just I'll do some video here while I'm walking around the retreat and just document some of it. I'll maybe do a little intro for the podcast, and we'll watch some videos, and then I'll dive into some more explanation of stuff. So this is a path that I'm going down right now to the river. Although I just showed you in the last video, I've got a river right there, or a creek right there behind my living quarters. But this one has a little bit deeper water, he said. It's a little bit easier to get in and kind of sprawl out if you want to. So we're going down, down, down. Just met the rest of my crew. There's a couple people from Shelby, North Carolina. And then I think the other couples were from Knoxville, I believe, Tennessee. So there's 5 of us, 6 including me. And then 7, 8, 9, including the most gracious host, Michael Lightweaver. He gave us the tour today. He doesn't normally do it anymore, but he gave it to us today. So anyway, this is the path down to a place we can get some massages. You can go down right here, which is where I was just a minute ago, actually. I went back to get my water shoes. I'll take you down. This is where I got in just a minute ago. Wasn't a bad little area. But I went back to get my water shoes. It's a little slippery down there. Figured my water shoes would give me a little bit better traction. But this is where I'm going this time. If I can remember where it is. All right, here we go. I don't know what goes around this way. I think this is something private because he didn't show us this area over here. But we're not going to go down here, but we're going to go right down this little walkway. And this is where I'm gonna park for a little bit in the frigid water and just kind of take a break, maybe do some meditation. These are my water shoes. They're like little ninja shoes. So this is gonna be my spot for about 10 or 15 minutes here. All right. So where am I, you ask? Just got out the water, did a little bit of meditation. It was phenomenal. Well, I am in Barnardsville. Barnardsville? Is it S? Is there an S on it? I don't know. Barnardsville, North Carolina. A place called the Mountain Light Sanctuary. First time up here. I've known about it for a couple years now, and I keep meaning to get over here. I kept meaning to, and I've had many plans to with some different people, myself, whatever. Never got around to it. And decided this was the year. So here I am. Here I am. So I'm walking back out from the water. I'm going to go up and I think I'm going to sit and just read for a little bit. I might write some notes down, some thoughts. Brought a journal with me. So that's where I am. That's where I'll be. Well, I'm back in the hut for a moment. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but they just rang a bell, and I can't remember. I can't remember what the name of the bell was, but it's over there. It's not in the council building. It's in. It's like a meditation. It's like they do yoga and meditation and some kind of some religious services, if you wish, prayer, whatever, Buddhist type stuff, Taoism. But I can't remember what the bell was. But he just rang, and it rings at 6 and 9 every morning and every night. I think maybe 11, something. I don't know. I'll figure it out and I'll explain later. So, all right, just heard that. Just wanted to comment on it. Well, what am I doing now, you ask? Well, I am sitting in a hammock, and I was reading some of my book, my 365 Tao, or Tao, however you want to say it, D-A-O or T-A-O, on Taoism. Either word is correct. So yeah, I'm just sitting here doing some reading, Mainly just listening to the water in the background and taking in the scenery. I don't know how many of these videos I'm going to have to do to piece together something, but this is what I'm looking at right now. So it's what you guys are looking at. There's my car way over there. That's the council house back there. We're probably going to start a little fire in there tonight, me and the rest of the crew that's here. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. All right, last video of the day. Just finished taking a nice little nap in that hammock. Man, the wind started picking up. There's some rain that's supposed to maybe come through tonight, or maybe sometime tomorrow. So the wind picked up and the breeze, man, was just fantastic. Yeah, took a nice little nap. Let's just leave it at that. Now I'm relaxing in my little hammock chair, and I'm gonna do a little bit more reading, I think, and just take in this scenery. All right, guys, so it's what, 11:30 at night. Finally getting down into the bed here. If you can hear, this is what's going on outside. I mean, it's magical. There was a bunch of fireflies around here earlier. They kind of ducked away. We had a little rain come down, so they are no longer with us. I guess they don't like the rain or whatever. Or maybe they're only out a certain time of the night. But it's been a good night. It's been a real good night. I've been hanging out with the rest of the crew out here. We played some live music. One of the ladies is a singer. Songwriter, so she bought a guitar on the way here because she forgot to bring hers. Actually stopped at a pawn shop and bought one, and I'll talk about all this later on in the podcast. But so yeah, I've been doing that. We went down to the creek and swam a little bit again, and we've been sitting for like the last 2 hours at the communal lodge, or what's it called? It's not called the communal lodge. Common house, or I don't know, something. But big fire pit in the middle and some benches around. Kind of reminded me of being on Survivor at the tribal council, getting ready to be voted off. So we've been doing that for the past couple hours, and just got back into my little bungalow, closed the little curtains up on the 3 walls, and getting ready to sit down and read just a tad bit, and then talk to you guys again tomorrow. All right, guys, so it's 6:30 or 6:45, almost 7 in the morning. Down here just kind of cleaning up a little bit in the water, in the river, washing my face, throwing some water through my hair or whatever, and just kind of getting ready for the day. So we're gonna go up to the lodge, meeting all the people up there. We're gonna have some breakfast, although I'm fasting, so I will not be having any breakfast, but I will be having some coffee. I guarantee you that. A little rain going on this morning. Don't know what the forecast is. When I get up to the lodge, I'll log into the Wi-Fi and check the weather real quick. We're planning on doing some hiking today. Me and the crew from Knoxville, Tennessee. And then, who knows? Don't know what's going on after that. Just relaxing. All right, so I'm breaking away from the group, and I'm going to do my own hike, I think. I might go back and do it again, but on my own. So I can't remember how long they said the trail is, or the hike is, but I didn't even take a picture of the map that Michael Lightweaver showed me, or showed us, to show some different splits and directions that you go, but I'll figure it out. All right, guys, so I'm thinking this is my destination. It's about 0.87 miles up here on the trail. Pretty good hike, really. I mean, it was straight uphill the entire way. Not straight uphill, come on. That's ridiculous. But I don't know what kind of grade it was. Maybe a 30-degree grade, pretty much the entire way. What I was trying to find is a thing they call the ferry pool. And I think this looks like the picture that he showed us. You know, just a little shallow pool to kind of dip in and get wet. He said it was small, didn't fit a whole lot of people. I'm pretty sure this is what he was talking about. So yeah, I think I might get wet. All right, so these videos are probably getting silly, but I don't think it's too much to piece together. I was trying to look up to my next door neighbors here and see what they were doing. They were thinking about going for that hike I just went on. Forgot to show you guys this. You know, this is part of the experience. So no indoor plumbing in my room. So this is it's a composting pot, really what it is, to be honest with you. So yes, I just got back from the ferry pools, or maybe it's the elf pools. I got to figure all this shit out before I get back home, man. But now I'm just back in my room, letting my socks dry out. I had to go through some water, of course, to get there. And my neighbors over there, they were down the stream searching for some rocks and stuff. They're going to go out and do the hike, and I may go back out with them. I don't know. But eventually I'm going to get around and I'm going to show you most of the grounds. Do a little walk by. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can hear me, but I was going to get a tour of the facilities, but it's been pouring down rain ever since I said that. This is in front of my bungalow, which, as you can see, the river has doubled in ferocity. So, there you go. The update. Well, it's early. It's last day here. I'm kind of packing my stuff up right now. I'm not going to get around to doing the walking tour. Sorry. Man, I look super sleepy right now, don't I? All right, well, that's what happens when you sleep, I guess. So, all right, guys, so you just finished all the videos. Either you listened to it audio-wise or you were watching it on YouTube. I hope everybody makes it to YouTube on this one, because I think that's where you're going to get the full experience. Obviously, it was, what's the words I'm trying to look for here? Oh, been watching some Joe Rogan while I was waiting for some things to download. I'm still waiting on things to download. If you're listening to this, you've already watched the completed project, but as I speak, I'm actually trying to still get all the videos off of my phone since yesterday. I've been having an issue, so I've been trying to get all the videos, the 11 videos that I took off of my phone onto the computer. I have 6 of them on there right now. Again, you've already watched all the videos. It's already happened. But right now I've got 6 of them off, and they are already edited and whatever on the audio. And I'm waiting on the other 5 to download right now. But you have completed the whole series of videos by this point. So what did you think? Was that worth the effort? Did you get anything out of that? Did that add to this podcast at all? Did it make it any more interesting? Did it make it any more unique? Give me some feedback if you don't mind. craftconversationspod@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram or on Facebook. Leave a message on the YouTube channel. Wherever. You get the point. There's plenty of ways to contact me. And I'd love to hear your feedback and see if it was something interesting, exciting, and different, and new, and fun, and all those words. So, Mountain Lake Sanctuary, man, I had a great time. As you can see from those videos, it's about a 4-hour drive from Somerville here. I'm trying to get to my notes. I took some notes. It's about a 4-hour drive from here. So I went up, left Monday morning, hit quite a bit of traffic on the way up. As a matter of fact, I hit 2 different areas of construction where they had blocked down just one lane for a little bit, and it put me behind my arrival time there by about an hour. So I was kind of disappointed in that, losing an hour. I wanted to get as much time as I could away. Let's see, I'm trying to get to my notes. But 4-hour drive, a great drive. It was perfect weather on Monday when I left, or the entire day actually, not just when I left. But got up there. My GPS had no problem. I use Waze as my navigation, by the way. If you don't use Waze, I say get on it, man. Google bought Waze a while back. So, I mean, think about it. Google's one of the biggest conglomerates out there in the cyberspace world. So if Google is buying something, it's got to be good. So Waze, I don't know why I'm doing an advertisement for them. They're not paying me, but that's what I used. Typed it in there, and I actually lost cell service about 10 miles out from my destination. And luckily Waze, I guess it had already programmed it in there, and it was already in the app, so it didn't need the GPS anymore. The directions are already done. So it got me there with no problem without the GPS being active at that point. But yeah, I mean, no service out there. So you end up hitting this bridge. Your pavement ends, and you go over this bridge, and next thing you know, you're on some gravel. You go up a little ways, about a half a mile. You take a right at a tree with a little circle on it, white circle. So kind of marking the area where you're supposed to turn there. You turn out. About another half mile up, you hit the sanctuary. So I rolled in, went up by myself. I wanted to just kind of get away and be alone with my own thoughts and myself, and do some self-reflection and some meditation, some yoga, some Tai Chi, whatever. And just kind of get away from, I talk all the time on this thing. I talk all the time as a bartender and partner up there at Homegrown Brewhouse, 117 South Main Street. So, I just talk to people all day long, and I'm always on, and I'm always active, and I'm always just pinging all over the place, and calmly, but I'm always on. I'm always doing something, talking to somebody, going somewhere, doing this, that, and the other. I just wanted to do nothing for a couple of days. So that was my intent, and I told my oldest son, Brian, that my intent was to go up there and just be completely alone. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit in my room, sit by the river, sit in the grass, sit in a hammock, sit in a chair, read a book, meditate, take a nap. I mean, whatever. And my son said, "Oh, come on, don't close yourself off to other possibilities," was what was the advice that he gave me. He's a very smart dude. He's exactly right. Don't go up there with a closed mind. That's the whole point, is trying to expand your mind and open your mind and open your eyes a little bit. So, his advice was, don't close yourself off to the possibility. If you get up there and you meet some people, then meet some people. If you don't, then you don't. Let what will be. So that's what I did. I got up there. When I got there, you walk up and you go up to the lodge, which I figured was the main check-in. I didn't really have any guidance on what to do when you got there. So I walked up, and as soon as you hit the landing there, the stairs to go up onto the porch, there's a bell, and it says, ring me for check-in. So, boom, you hit this, you ring this big bell, and next thing I know, I hear a voice from under the porch, which is covered in foliage and vines and whatever. So it's hard to kind of see under there. You have to kind of duck under and get underneath there at the entrance. But it was Michael Lightweaver, who owns the place and runs the place up there. And he yelled my name out and said, "Hey, is that Brian?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And he said, "Hey, this is Michael. Come on up and join us. We're getting started on the tour." So I guess they had waited on me, or the people that were there with me had just arrived as well. So I went in and came around a corner with Michael there, and there was some people coming down a flight of stairs up into one of the first or second rooms that he was showing them. He introduced me. "Hey, this is Brian. He just got here. This is everybody. Blah, blah, blah. Welcome. let's continue the tour. So that's what we did. So right away, I'm already meeting people, and it's already gone way off the rails from what I intended to do. I intended to go up there, check in, go to my room, and that was it. Not talk to or see anybody except in passing. So now I'm with this group, and we're all kind of interacting. Still kind of nervous, kind of not sure what's going on or how to feel, or how to act, or whatever. So nobody's really doing a whole lot of talking at this point. We're just kind of following Michael's as he shows us around the ground. So I'm not going to go into all the detail of the stuff that he showed us, but the place is kind of I don't know, it's kind of like one of those, what were the name of those books that you used to see when you went to the dentist? You went to the dentist, and there was a book there. It was a magazine, not a book. And on the inside, it had a thing where you had to find all the things that were wrong in the picture. Well, this was kind of similar to that. Damn, it was the name of that magazine. Maybe I'll think of it before we finish up here. So, but it's like one of those books where you've got to find everything. Because there was a bunch of hidden treasures and trinkets and coves and whatever that just a lot of thought went into this place. And the place opened up in 95. You can go to the let me look it up, so I don't want to give you the wrong address, and I'll put it in the show notes as well. Mountain Light Sanctuary. So it is yeah, it's just mountainlightsanctuary.com. So you can go there and get the history and get learn more about it. I'm not going to give you a whole rundown of the damn place. I just want to give you a little excerpt of my time up there. So anyway, it's been open since 95, so it's been there quite a while. So Michael's had a lot of time to really plan this thing out and think it all out and add to it. And from what I hear from some of the people that I met at the end of this trip, every year they go, something has been added or there's something new going on. So anyway, what am I trying to say here? I've gotten way off track. So he showed us all the bungalows, all the abodes, all the accommodations, the lodging, whatever word you want to use for it, places to stay. And then throughout the place, there's just extra stuff to see. There's a council house that kind of remind me of the place in Survivor where you get voted off. Why, man, I can't think of anything tonight. You know why? It's almost 2 a.m. in the morning. The tribal council. Yeah, so this is the council house. Showed us that. Showed us a bunch of little scenery pieces that he's got set up. There's gnomes everywhere that are hidden. There's different saints and different statues. There's Buddha heads. Just anything you can think of that's magical. It's a bamboo garden. There's a regular garden. There's a gong. There's a couple shrine areas where you can leave dedications and things like that. What else? I mean, solar powered this and that all over the place. Lights, lanterns. Showed us all kind of stuff. Showed us the river. Showed us a place where you can go down and get your feet wet or dunk in the creek if you want to. Just everything. Showed us a lot. Showed us where the indoor bathrooms were, the outdoor bathrooms, the outdoor showers, the kitchen, the refrigerators, the pantry. I could go on and on and on, which I am going on and on and on about nothing. But that was the tour. And then everybody kind of ventured off to their rooms to kind of put their stuff away and get things situated for the night so they could be ready to go to sleep when it was that time. I left my room after I got it all set up and kind of figured out what was going on. I walked back up to the lodge just to see what was going on up there. I wanted to try and find the library and just find me a good book to take back and read. When I came around one of the sides there, I heard some music going on. Sounded like guitar playing, so I walked around the side, and I'm a sucker for live music or acoustic music or any type of music, so Walked around the corner, and the entire rest of the crew, not the staff, but the entire rest of the crew was underneath one of these little gazebo areas off the porch. And one of them had a guitar and was playing guitar and singing. So I joined, and it wasn't even, I hadn't even been there an hour. I don't think, maybe 2 hours at that point. Drinking some Malbec red wine tonight, guys. I don't even know what it is, but I'll get into a little bit of beer here in a second. But what was I saying? Oh, so they're playing some music and it's having a good time. Everybody there is already chit-chatting. They've already learned each other's names and got to know each other. So I plopped down and introduced myself and kind of got into the conversation. So did that for a little while. Two of the girls, one of them was from Hickory, North Carolina, and the other was from Shelby, North Carolina. They were friends, came up together. The other crew were siblings, brother and two sisters. Matthew, Amy, and Trinity, short for Trinity. Where am I going with this? Oh, so Matthew is down in Atlanta, Georgia, and Trin and Amy are up in Knoxville, Tennessee, I believe. So I sat down with all those guys. Didn't say a whole lot. They were talking a lot more than I was talking, for sure. I can't even remember what I talked about or what they asked me in that specific area. But eventually, Connie and her friend, I cannot recall her name to save my life. Apologize. Rosemary, I think. Connie and Rosemary. I think that's what it is. They left and went back to their room. And then Matthew, she suggested, hey, let's all, you guys want to go up and start a fire at the council house. So we were like, yeah, let's do that. So we went up. Oh, I got to pull these websites up too. Man, I got too much stuff to talk about now that I thought about it. I thought this was going to be a quick, like a 15 or 20 minute ending to this whole thing. But shit, I got so much stuff to talk about and I want to get through it all. Let's see, I emailed this stuff to me. So, hold on just a second. So we walk up to the council house. There's already the previous group that had left the night before had already set up a bunch of wood in the fire pit. There's a fire pit in the middle, and there's 4 benches that go around that fire pit, and then there's a bunch of rail seating around the exterior of the little tribunal hut right there. So, like I said, it reminded me when we sat down in there and we got the fire started with a lighter and a little bit of lighter fluid, charcoal fluid. When we got that fire started and we all sat down, I was like, man, it feels like we're on Survivor. Somebody's getting ready to get voted off the island. So it's kind of cool. And then, I'm supposed to be looking up something, damn it. Then the fire's going. And I can't remember if it was Amy or if it was Trinity that asked me if I wanted to burn some Joss paper. Joss, Joss paper. And I couldn't quite hear her to begin with, so I was like, what are you talking about? What kind of stuff? And she told me again, and I said, I have no idea what that is. And she says, okay, well, we'll go get it, and we'll talk about it. So her and Trinity went to get the paper out of their room. Matthew stayed back with me tending to the fire, and he kind of explained a little bit about what was getting ready to go on. So their father had passed away. I don't recall. I'm not even going to try and remember, but their father has passed away, and I think it was quite a few years ago. And it's tradition. These guys are Vietnamese, by the way. But I guess it's originally maybe Chinese tradition that this Joss paper started off. It's also known as ghost or spirit money. They are sheets of paper that are burned in traditional Chinese deity or ancestor worship ceremonies during special holidays. Joss paper is also burned in traditional Chinese funerals. So I think this got started over there, like it says, in China. But it's a ceremony where you can do it at the funeral of the person. You can do it on the day of their birth, on the day of their death. Really, anytime you want to do it. But So they asked me if I wanted to participate in it. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I'm honored that you would ask me to participate in something like that. So yeah, I was honored to do that and be a part of that. It kind of, it's kind of choking me up right now, but it kind of choked me up, and luckily it was dark and nobody could see me, but it kind of choked me up a little bit, that they let me be involved with something so special. After just meeting them, I mean, literally it was 4 o'clock, probably 6 hours ago, I just met these guys, loosely even, not even, anyway. So they asked me if I wanted to participate, and I was like, absolutely, 100%. So what do we do? So Joss paper is traditionally made from coarse bamboo paper, although rice paper is also commonly used. Traditional Joss is cut into individual squares or rectangles. Each square of paper has either a thin piece of square foil glued to the center, or it may be endorsed with a red ink seal from the traditional Chinese seal. The color of the paper is white color representing mourning. The square foil normally has a golden or silver metal shape and hence representing wealth or money, leading to the name ghost or spirit money. Another appearance from the Joss paper is gold paper shaped like English tower, blah, blah, blah. So when burning the paper, the sheets are treated as real money. They are not casually tossed into the fire, but instead placed respectfully in a loose bundle. Alternatively, in some customs, each Joss paper sheet may be folded in a specific way before being tossed into the fire. This practice is an extension of the belief that burning real money brings bad luck. Blah, 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 blah. In Taoist rituals, the practice of burning Joss paper to deities or ancestors is acceptable. Blah, blah, blah. Incense paper, spirit money. I think I had a second site I sent to myself. Chinese dollar domination. Man, I'm trying to think. So, paper objects aiding the ancestors move include paper passports, flight. Man, this is not the one I sent to myself the first time. Hold on 1 second, guys. But that's what the paper is. So, this was, we were honoring the death of their father. What does this say here? This was another site that I sent to myself. So we sat out there doing that, and man, it was an experience. Okay, so burning Joss paper is a traditional Chinese Taoist practice that sends money and material goods to deceased relatives in the afterlife. Damn it, a pop-up just popped up over what I was reading. Get out of there. Goods to deceased relatives in the afterlife. It's common to burn Joss paper at funerals, on ancestor birthdays, and during important holidays like the Qingming Festival and the Hungry Ghost Festival. Arguably, the most famous place to buy Joss paper is in Hong Kong. So there's some FYI information for you. American Chinatowns have had dedicated Joss paper stores since the first immigrants arrived in this country. So that's probably out around San Francisco somewhere, where the immigrants first came in. Joss paper customs are rich with some symbolism and family history, the type of tradition you can imagine being shared in Chinese from grandmothers to the grandchildren. Consequently, adopting Joss paper customs here in the United States without a direct cultural connection can be intimidating. And then this site here goes through a whole, and I'll put both of these sites in the show notes as well. Goes through a whole thing of different papers. But it's a physical representation of money and daily necessities like clothing, personal electronics, and household goods. The basic notion behind burning Joss paper is that an offering is conveyed into the spirit world through the fire's smoke. So, and then this site goes through and, like I said, just lists a whole bunch of different papers, and it's very cool, man. They even have one that's called Spirit Money that look like banknotes. They have some that imitate the Chinese yen, the Hong Kong dollar, the U.S. dollar, the Bank of Heaven and Earth. So much stuff. I'll put all this in the show notes, guys, okay? So anyway, that's what I did the first night, and that ended my first night. We did about 2 hours out there of burning the joss paper, and then we just chit-chatted for a while, and then the girls went back to their room, which was literally, 20 yards away from the council house. We were both just right outside the council house there. Excuse me. And then Matt just sat out there and chit-chatted for a while. The topic of podcast came up, and I told him I was going to do this. I was going to do this podcast. So, but he and a couple friends of his had talked about doing a podcast, and I guess he's a little upset that he got left out. And I can't remember the whole story of why he's not a part of that podcast. But apparently, these other two guys that he had talked with about it ended up doing a podcast, and he's not a part of it. And I can't remember exactly why, but. So I told him, start your own damn podcast, man. Just do it. And I'll try and, text back and forth with him and give him some tips and pointers and whatever. And I hope he's going to hit me up for some advice and try and get it going. But really, all you need, I got this Microsoft Surface right here. I plug everything into this damn shitty ass computer I bought for like $700. Somebody gave me this board. I bought this mic and this mic stand off of Amazon. Me and my original partner didn't build the table. We put this table here and just put a bunch of stickers on it, put some shit on the wall. It's really nothing. We bought a GoPro so we could record video, but you don't even need video. There's tens of thousands of podcasts out there that do audio only. They don't even do a video. So for audio, all you need is this computer right here, and you download the free Audacity. You're up and running. That's all you got to do. You get a mic, you get a tiny little computer, you get Audacity, you record. Then there's some free places out there where you can post your podcast, or you can spend a tad bit of money and you can have an RSS feed that you upload your podcast to, and it shoots out to all the respective podcast areas, whether it be Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, all those different things. So anyway, I got way off on another just direction. So anyway, Matthew and I talked about podcasts and just different things. And then I said, man, I got to go to bed. Had a long drive up here. It's been a lot to take in, and I just want to go chill out in the room that I paid for and relax. So not rudely, but the fire was almost out anyway. So we both went to bed. I went and did some reading. And just listen to the creek right there. Literally right off the back. And you've already watched the video at this point. So right off the back of my little hut there. And then I eventually went to sleep and slept wonderfully. Because as you can hear in the videos, it's like a white noise is what I hear. What you hear the entire time you're in your little on the compound in general. Because there's a creek on both sides of it that flank both sides of it. So you hear the water constantly. But it's like a white noise when you're trying to go to sleep. So it was very calming, very relaxing. It would have been way worse if you were kind of out in the middle of nowhere like that and there was no sound, and you're trying to go to sleep and you're just hearing all these weird things that are kind of keeping you awake. So it was nice to have that white noise. It was very peaceful, very relaxing, and just lulled you right to sleep without any problem whatsoever. So that was day one. I did go out. I mentioned it in the video. I did go out and do some meditation in the river. I actually sat down and I figured what better way to meditate and really try and get away from your thoughts to just be sitting in frigid water, rushing water while you're trying to meditate and clear your mind. I can't think right. Like I said, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm trying to get this done for you for a Friday release. What was I saying? Okay, yeah, so I did some meditation, So anyway, woke up day 2, did some yoga there in my room. Went up to the lodge, said good morning to some people. It's about 7 a.m. by the time I get to the lodge. Said good morning to everyone. My Vietnamese newfound friends were not up yet. They said they were going to meet everybody at 7 a.m. at the lodge. Matthew, I think you set up the time. No Matthew. No, nobody. Really. I don't remember if I saw anybody down there at that time of day. So I went back to my room. I did a little bit of meditation in my room, waited till about 8 o'clock and said, okay, now let me go back and see if anybody's over there. Went back and found everybody. So anyway, you've seen the videos. You've seen everything that's going on. It was a great place. I did some meditation. I did some Tai Chi. I did some yoga. I did some stretching even. Swam in the river 3 different times in 3 different places. Did a hike. Laid around in hammocks, rocking chairs, sat up in a library and read books. What else? Took naps, laid in hammocks. We did. I did. We went out, found this pretty rock. There was this place, a circular place. You saw it in some of the pictures as well. I don't think I did a video on it, but you probably saw something on it. I don't know. Probably not. Who knows? I don't remember what's in the damn videos. I've only watched them like 5 times a piece. But there was a place, like a little shrine area, that had this big, like quartz stone coming out of it, like something you see in Superman or whatever. In the Fortress of Solitude, you see this big icicle-looking thing sticking up. But it was in the middle, surrounded by a bunch of chairs and in a circle in a garden. And at the base of this thing, it had a whole bunch of trinkets, whether it be some shells or whether it be different colors and styles and varieties of rocks. Some of the rocks were hand painted with some things. There was some notes folded up under something. So it was like a devotional where people would come and just give a rock to the area, something special, and just give back to the place that we were, that was giving so much to us. So I had found the entire time these guys had been searching for rocks, and they were looking for something, cool to put up in this area or just to take home or whatever. I ended up finding one on the second day that was beautiful. It had just a bunch of little specks of almost like gold or silver or something on this rock. It was very cool. So I gave it to Trinity because she was the one looking for a rock, and she now wanted to go up and devote it and give it to this area. So that's what we did. We all walked up and and Connie was with us as well. And we all went up and had a little devotional, a little ceremony there at the Fortress of Solitude, stone or icicle or whatever it was, a quartz type looking thing. And had a big rock base on it, and everybody just could put stuff down there. So we all said what we were thankful for. So you'd say what you were thankful for. You'd pass the rock to the next person, and we pass it all around in a circle. And then the last person was Matthew, and it was his job as the last person in the line to place the rock. Now it was his maybe not responsibility, but his honor now to place this rock down into the space and mark our time there together. So it was cool. I did a lot of cool stuff with these guys, man. They super nice, super caring. Matthew talks a lot. I'm not gonna lie, just messing with you, Matthew. Super fantastic. I mean, the happiest people I think you could meet, and very kind, very loving, very pleasing. Had great conversations, had great time. We said as we were leaving, or at least I said, we should keep in touch, and next time we come up, we should try and plan a trip and make sure we're there together and do it all again. So I'm super glad that I did not stick to my original plan and just be a recluse and not talk to anybody, because I could have done that, but how does that help me grow? It might help me grow a little mentally and internally and kind of get inside myself, and that can help me grow as well. But to not interact with these other people from different nationalities, from different ethnicities, male, female, different backgrounds, whatever, why would you not want to talk to those people? That's how you grow. That's how you grow, when you sit down and you talk to people that have different ideas than you, different values than you, different, just anything. And to sit down and talk with those people and get a different perspective on life that's maybe different than your own, could be good, could be bad. But you don't know until you talk to somebody. So I already know what's going on inside my head. I've been with myself for 46 years. Interact with some people. And we're all here as a society together. Let's all get along. Let's talk to each other. Let's love each other. Let's give each other hugs, handshakes, fist bumps, whatever. And just love each other. Just be a society, be human. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's 2 a.m. It's after 2. It's 2:10 right now. And let's see what time we got here. Oh, we got plenty of time. 33 minutes in. I've already done an intro. You've already watched a series of videos. Now I've done 33 minutes of extra stuff at the end that's probably bored the hell out of you. Let's see if I had anything else really interesting in my notes to talk about. And if not, I'm going to... so I did a 40-hour fast while I was up there. I started before I left, and then I finished the day I left on that Wednesday. So I started... Yeah, you get the idea. So I did a 40-hour fast on top of going up and doing all this other stuff. So I was trying to cleanse my mind and my body at the same time. We already talked about Amy, Matthew, and Trin from Vietnam. They're not from Vietnam, but they're Vietnamese. Joss Paper. Talked about Connie. She's a professional photographer and musician. She was the one out there playing guitar. Funny story, she didn't bring her guitar because her friend said, nah, or some one of them said that, oh, no, we don't need a guitar out there. It's, everybody wants to be quiet. Nobody was going to be playing guitar or whatever. And on the way, they said, you know what? I should have brought my damn guitar. They stopped at a pawn shop and bought a guitar. And I don't remember the whole story on that. That was an hour into me getting there and meeting these people, and she was telling the story. But I think it was an expensive guitar that she found at this pawn shop. I think Rosemary was saying the guy had to go down in the basement to get this thing, brought it back up, and it was signed and had like a serial number on it. And they got it for dirt cheap. I don't remember the price, but anyway, it was a great find. They got it at a pawn shop, and they were playing it there at the place. So went on a hike. You'll see about that in the video, or you saw about that already. We talked about the stone we put down at the shrine. There was a groundskeeper / maintenance guy / guide named Paul, Paas. He is from Ghana. He is gonna be leaving there shortly because his visa is expiring, so he has to go back to Ghana. I think he probably has to stay 30 days or something before he's allowed to come back into the United States, and then he'll come back, get another visa, and stay. So he is going to be back in September, from what I heard, because I talked to him before I left, and told him maybe I could come back in September and see him. So he was there, very cool. What else? I didn't get all the videos I wanted to do. I had a bunch of different other places I was going to do more videos, but you get the idea. Go see the place for yourself. Check these guys out. Email or go on the website, and you have to become a member, and then you can email Michael Lightweaver, or you can do it before you even become a member, but just get info. But visit the place, man. That's the best way to do it. Forget all this video and stuff that I did or didn't do. Get out there and see it for yourself and experience it for yourself. And what else? A lady, I was sitting there the night before I was leaving. I was sitting there at the lodge. The sun had already gone down. The fireflies had come out. A new group of people came in. These guys are retired school teachers, and a couple of them are still active school teachers. This was the 9th year that they have been there. And they come up every year together, and it's just an annual getaway for them. So I think the girl's name was Karen. I'm pretty sure, or lady. I was sitting in a rocking chair out on the front of the lodge, and she came in and said hi, good evening, whatever, some kind of greeting. You know, everybody's so just friendly and nice there, man. It's unbelievable. It's like the way you wish the world could be was the way that these past 2 days were. You know, just interacting with the other people there. If we could all interact like we interacted over the 2 days that I was there, if we could all do that in the world, man, what a better place this place would be. You know, the world is already awesome. We live in the best times ever, but I'm telling you, you go to this place and you interact with people and you see the way people are kind and loving and caring and genuinely worried about you and interested in what you have to say or what you think or what you do. Anyway, Karen came up and she said hello, and I said hello, and she sat down right in front of me on a bench there and just started having a conversation with me. Didn't know me from Adam, had friends that were already there that she hadn't even rendezvoused yet, that she could have, you know, sped right past me and went to go talk to those friends, but she took the time to sit down in front of me and talk to me. She's a school counselor. She's pretty close to retirement as well. Gave me all kind of info. She was married 24 years and she, divorced. Found her second husband on ChristianMingle.com, and is the best decision she's ever made. The best thing that's ever happened to her in her life. She's super happy. Says she doesn't think her husband would come with her to that retreat because she doesn't think he could disconnect from the TV. That's what she told me. But anyway, she sat there and she said, has anybody told you about the orbs? And I said, yeah, I've read about them. I said, I read an article before I came that talked about it. It was on Thrillist, and it was an article that talked about every time somebody takes pictures around there. And she explained it as just being under the porch at the lodge, but I thought I'd read that it was just anywhere around the compound that you took a picture and people would just find these orbs in their pictures all the time, and they figured it was fairies or something from the spirit world or some terrestrial being that we couldn't comprehend or see. But she told me a story of a fairy that she was sitting in a chair, and one night she said it. I can't remember how many years ago it was, if it was the first time there, whatever, but she said she saw this light just kind of coming and zigzagging towards her. Came all the way down. It was like a little ball, little orb. Came all the way down, got right beside her, and then dissipated and just evaporated into the air. And she said it was a fairy. She was absolutely 100% certain that it was a fairy that came and sat down beside her and disappeared. I read some stories and some articles that other people have had the same experience out there. I did not have that experience. I've looked at the pictures. I didn't take any pictures underneath the porch. I should have that night when she mentioned it, but I did not. She said it also seems to happen when it rains, that the rain brings all the orbs and the fairies onto the porch. I don't know. I'm not dismissing what she's saying. My mind is open to all kind of possibilities in this world. I've seen a plenty of things that I can't explain. I've never seen a fairy, but I'm not saying that there's not fairies. I'm not. I can't prove there's not. I'm open to the possibility. I did not experience that, and it poured down rain most of the second day there. So if there are fairies that were brought on or orbs that were brought onto the porch, I did not see them. I hope to see them next time, because I will be going back. So anyway, and there's no drinking or smoking pot there or any other drugs. There's not supposed to be anyway. I don't know if there was any activity going on, but I know I didn't bring anything with me. So this girl was not intoxicated when she told me the story. So anyway, what else? Do I have anything else? I just need to go. I need to get out of here. I can't even talk anymore. My mouth's all dry. It's late. I guess I got one more thing. Jeez, man. Hold on. Let me pull up Untapped. we'll do this real quick. This is a podcast that is still loosely based on craft beer. So when I left, it was kind of a 2-for-1. I knew Mountain Light Sanctuary was above Asheville. I knew Asheville had a ton of good breweries. So I made it a command decision that when I left, I was going to go by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. So that's what I did. Went by Sierra Nevada. I had these beers, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Had a Hop Hunter IPA, I think. Let me check. Yep, Hop Hunter IPA. Everything's always better at the source. What is Hop Hunter IPA? Well, it's from Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, which is out of Chico. God dang it. Chico. I think it's Chico, California. They built a West Coast facility here in Asheville, or actually it's in Mills River, North Carolina, right outside of Asheville. So Hop Hunter IPA harnesses the complex flavors of just picked hops through an all-new method of steam distilling wet hops before they even leave the fields. This revolutionary technique captures and intensifies the natural flavors, creating a unique and intensely aromatic beer. Our custom process gathers pure hop oil, which, when combined with traditional hop or whole cone hops in the brew kettle and on our hop torpedo, makes for an incredible IPA experience. This was the first thing I'd put in my face since my 40-hour fast. The best beer, one of the best beers I've ever tasted in my life. I'm not lying. And I've had this beer plenty of times before. It's nothing fantastic. It's a good beer. It's a double IPA, 6.2% ABV, 60 IBUs. But it tasted amazing after 40 hours of not putting anything in my face except for water. So I had that. And then my second beer was Audition Double IPA. Audition Double IPA. This beer was a beast. It was 8% ABV. That's not correct. It's what Untappd says, but I remember specifically on the keg it says 10% ABV, so, and 60 IBUs. This beer is the true West Coast style double IPA made with huge amounts of hops, both in the kettle for flavor and later in the torpedo to impart a massive hop aroma. The light malt body and dry finish hide the power in this immensely drinkable hop bomb. And it was a hop bomb. Super bitter. Fantastic though. It was great. I loved it. So I had that. Had that with a burger. Grass-fed, pasture-raised burger. Oh my God, it was so good as well. All these things were so good because I had been fasting. So the last thing I had before I left there, it's called Sticky Biscuit. Let's pull that up. Well, all that description from those other two beers from Sierra Nevada, and this one just says amber with malt flavor, caramel flavor with malt undertones. How boring is that after those last two beer descriptions I just gave you? This one listed here is 9.8 ABV. The one that I got was actually barrel aged in bourbon barrels, so drank that out in the backyard. I had the first two beers there at the bar with my burger, and then I went to the backyard and sat in a rocking chair and drank my last beer. Talked to my son on the phone for a little bit about my experience at the retreat. Hung out for a little while, drank some water, blah, 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 before I took off. And then I took off and went to a coffee shop called Beehive Coffee. The second time I've been there. Went there with my older brother one time when we came up. And that's a fantastic place for some coffee. So Beehive Coffee, I'll put a little post in there about that as well. What else? Look at my list one more time. That's it. Drove back home in a little bit of rain, and here I am. at the end of the video podcast that you've already watched and listened to. So that's all I got, guys. I'm getting out of here. It's early in the morning. This is Friday for you guys. Have a good weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon.